All right, let's discuss a few key terms used in algebra. The first key term is variable. What is a variable? Variable is a letter used to represent an unknown quantity. So usually people use x and y. So the x and y represent an unknown quantity. Unknown quantity. And then the second term is coefficient. What is coefficient? So coefficient is a real number that is multiplied by a variable. So let's say we have 3x. So this is 3 times x, and then 3 is a coefficient. So basically coefficient is the number in front of a letter, or the number in front of a variable. And then the next key term is algebraic term. So algebraic term is the product or quotient of a variable and a coefficient. So algebraic term, so let's say we have a 3x. 3x is an algebraic term. 3y negative 2z, 1 half a, 3 over 2b, negative 10 w, they are algebraic term. Is the product or quotient of a variable and a coefficient. And then algebraic expression is the sum or difference of algebraic terms. So this is the sum or difference of algebraic terms. So let me give you an algebraic expression. So let's say we have 3x minus 6y plus 2. This is an algebraic expression. All right, so how many variables? There are 2 variables, right? So number 1, there are 2 variables. We have x and y, they are variables, and then there are 2 coefficients. It's 3 and negative 6. You are correct. We take the number and the symbol in front of the number. All right, so 3 and negative 6. And then there are 2 algebraic terms. So 2 algebraic terms, 3x and negative 6y, or you can say minus 6y. We take the letter, the number, and the sign in front of the number, and there is 1 constant term. Which is 2. So I use the word constant. What is constant? Constant is a number that won't change. So 2 is a number that won't change. X is a variable because x is changing. You can let x be 0, x be 10, x be 6, x be negative 5, so on and so forth. Variable is an unknown quantity. Another way to interpret that is a unknown quantity that changes. And then coefficient is the number in front of a letter, the number in front of a variable, including the sign. All right. Algebraic term is the product of or quotient of a number times a letter. So it's like I would consider that as like an item. So if you look at these algebraic expressions, how many items do we have? We have, if you use the word term, this word term, there are 3 terms in this expression, or I will say there are 3 items. The first item is positive 3x, or you write positive 3x. The second term, the second item is negative 6y, and then the third item is a plus 2. You also need to pick up the sign in front of the letter. So that's the first keywords in algebra. And then one other thing that I would like to review is multiplying positive and negative numbers. Let's write it down. Multiply positive and negative numbers. Okay, the first rule, positive times positive is equals to positive. So let's say you have 2 times 5, you have positive, right? If you have a negative times positive, you get a negative. So you have a negative 2 times a positive 5, you get a negative 10. And then you have a positive times negative equals to negative. So you have 2 times negative 5, you get a negative 10. And then the last one is negative times negative equals to positive. Negative 2 times negative 5 is equals to positive 10. The same rule applies to division. So let's say you have 2 divided by 3. 2 divided by 4, let's do 2 divided by 4, positive divided by positive is positive. Negative divided by positive is negative. You have a positive divided by negative is equals to negative. If you have a negative divided by negative, let's say negative 10 divided by negative 2, that is equals to positive 5. All right, so that's another review, right? So the next one is pretty important. The next one is distributive property. To perform distribution, distribute the quantity including its sign outside of the parentheses to each quantity inside the parentheses. All right, so here is how it works. You have A times B plus C, so you just put the A in front of B and C. So let's say you have 2. You have 2 times 1 plus 5. So 1 plus 5 is equals to 6. 2 times 6 is supposed to be equals to 12, right? If you perform the distribution, then you will distribute the 2 to the 1 and the 5. Before we perform the distribution, so think about this. Let's say you have 3 students right in front of you. How do you distribute an exam to each one of them? So the way we do it is we walk over there and then we put a test in front of them, right? So we put a test in front of every student, just like putting a test in front of students. So in here, so you have 2 times 1 plus 5. All you have to do is you put the 2 in front of the 1 and you put the 2 in front of the 5. This plus goes right over there. So this is 2 plus 10 equals to 12. What if that is minus? So let's say you have 2 times, how about this? 6 minus 2, or 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3 is equals to 3. 2 times 3. Let's use a number. I don't want to work with the 6 too many times. How about 10 minus 7? So 10 minus 7 is equals to 3. 2 times 3 is equals to 6, right? If you do a distribution, you have 2 times 10, and then the minus will carry over, and then 2 times 7, that is equals to 20, minus 14 equals to 16. So that's how distribution works. Okay, let's take a look at this 8 exercise. So the first one we have is 3 times 6 minus 2x. So you distribute the 3 to the 6 and the 2x, so that will be a 3 times 6. The minus will carry over, and then 3 times 2x. So 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 2x, we do number times number, right? 3 times 2 is equals to 6. So that will be 18 minus 6x. And then B, you have negative 4 times negative 1 plus 5x minus 2y. So we put the negative 4 in front of the negative 1, the 5, and the 2. When you work with negative, be extremely careful. So this is a negative 4 times negative 1. The plus will carry over. The plus negative 4 times 5x, and then minus negative 4 times 2y. So negative 4 times negative 1 is 4. This is a plus. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20, and then negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. So you have plus minus is up minus, right? So you have a 4 minus 20x. Minus minus becomes a plus. So I forgot the y, right? Plus 8y. So that is your answer. And then the next one is C. So C, I have negative 2, and then x plus 3y minus z. So you put the negative 2 in front of every member inside the parentheses. So negative 2 times x, and then the plus will carry over. Negative 2 times 3y, and then the minus will carry over. Negative 2 times z. So you have a negative 2x. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Plus minus becomes a minus. Minus minus becomes a plus. You have a 2z. And then D, I will go down. If you want to work all the problems yourself first, you better take a screenshot right now so you can pause the video and then work it out yourself first. All right, so let's go down. D is negative 10 times negative 2a or minus 2a minus 5b plus 4c minus 6. So we put the negative 2 in front of every member inside the parentheses. So negative 10 times negative 2a, and then the minus will carry over negative 10 times 5b. We carry over the plus negative 10 times 4c, and then we carry out over the minus negative 10 parentheses, because I don't want to do a minus minus this kind of thing, times 6. So you have a 20a, number times number, and then negative 10 minus minus becomes a plus, so that is a 50b, plus minus becomes a minus 40c, and then minus minus is a plus 660. So how many variables are in this algebraic expression? There are 3 variables, right? We have a, b, and then c. What about coefficients? The number in front of letter, you have 20, 50, and 40. No, minus 40. How many constant, the term that will never change? The answer is 60. So back to C, how many variables do we have? We have x, y, and z. What about coefficients? We have negative 2, negative 6, and positive 2. How many terms do we have? We have 3 algebraic terms. In D, we have 3 algebraic terms and 1 constant terms. But if you only use the word terms, then there are 4 terms in D, 3 terms in C. What kind of terms do you want? If you want algebraic, then you have to look for a term that has a variable in it. So 3 algebraic terms in C, 3 algebraic terms in D, plus 1 constant term in D. All right, let's do some fractions. So part E, let's switch color. So E, you have 2/3 times 3x plus 21 divided by 6y. So you have a 2/3 times 3x, and then plus 2/3 times 21 divided by 6y. So the 3 and the 3 got cancelled, right? Because another way to write the 3 is you put the 3 as 3 over 1. So divide the top and bottom by 3. So the 3 will be cancelled. 2 divided by 1 is just a 2x. And then how do you simplify that? 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then 3 divided by 3 is 1. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Then you have a 7 over 3y. And then F, you have negative 1 over 4 times 16 divided by 3 times a plus 20, not 28, 20 b to the 8th power minus 5. So this one is negative 1 over 4 times 16 over 3 a, and then plus negative 1 over 4, the 20 is 20 divided by 1 b to the 8th power, and then this minus will carry over negative 1 over 4, the 5 is just a 5 divided by 1. So the 4 and the 16, 4 divided by 4 is 1, 16 divided by 4 is 4, so that is negative 1 over 4 over 3a, plus minus is a minus, 20 divided by 4 is 5, you don't touch the b and the exponent, and then minus is a plus, 4 and 5, we can simplify that, so we keep that as 4 over 5. How many variables? We have 2 variables, a and b. How many terms? We have 3 terms, right? We have 2, inside these 3 terms, we have 2 algebraic terms, which is the first 2 terms, the one that has a variable in it, and then we have a 1 constant term. All right, so in E, how many variables do we have? We have 2, x and y. We have 2 terms, and they are both algebraic terms, right? There is no constant. All right, moving on to G. So in G, we have negative 5 over 7 times 14 over 3 w minus 6 over 7 x squared plus 49. So we have negative 5 over 7 times 14 over 3 w. This minus carry over negative 5 over 7 times 6 divided by 7 x squared, and then plus 5 over 7, negative of course, and then 49 is 49 divided by 1. All right, any simplification? Yup, the 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. So we have negative 10 over 3. W minus minus gives me a plus 5, 6, 7, 7. We can simplify them. So that is 30 divided by 49. And then x squared. And then minus the 7. This is a 7. So that is a negative 35. How many variables? We have w and x, and then one constant, right? One constant, negative 35, and then how many coefficients? 2, negative 10 over 3, and 30 over 49. There are three terms in total, 2 algebraic, and then one constant. All right, looks good. And then the last one is h. We have 8 times negative 2x squared minus 8 times y to the 10 plus z to the 26 power. So first, let's see if you can do this in one step. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16 x squared. 8 times 8 is 64. The minus will carry over, y to the 10, and then 8 times the z to the 26 is equals to 1 times z to the 26. So 8 times 1 is equals to 8, z to the 26. So there are 3 variables, x, y, and z, and then there are 3 algebraic terms. There are no constant terms. And then what else do we have? We have coefficients, negative 16, negative 64, and positive 8. Alright, so that is the end of this video. If you think my instruction is helpful, please subscribe, like, share this video for me. I appreciate your help really much. I see you all in the next one. Signing out.